Hey guys, what's up? Happy Wednesday to everybody. Guess what? Storytime is back. It hasn't been back for a while. So, where have I been? Well, I'm gonna start it back where I left off pretty much in storytime. So, back when I was about, 14, 15 years old. So, I'd already been through, so I'm about 14, 15 years old. Um, I lived in a good family home. I was never, you know, I was never mentally or physically neglected or abused or anything, but yeah, some people have issues. Okay, some people have issues. So one day, my aunt and my aunt and uncle, I was at my aunt and uncle's house. Me and my brother. My brother's autistic, and so we were both there one day. And my mom worked as a LPN for 8 years at a Jewish Geriatric Center. And so one day we're there and we're hanging out. My mom and I didn't know, you know, I didn't know. Maybe I was about 12, 13. I don't know. Whatever. 14. I don't know. I know I couldn't go outside. So one day, cop pulled up, and my mom pulled up, and right behind her was a cop. Well, we didn't know nothing about a cop. Well, yeah, we did know. We seen a police car. It's a cop car. So, um, come out, and my aunt watched him from the window. This is at the other place where Kirkhoff and it's in. So, yeah, it'd been about, no, it's about 15. Yeah, it's about, yeah, 15. Um, so Matt ran outside, and, cops doing his normal thing, asking questions. I wasn't out there. I just kind of heard what was going on. And so, you know, cops are not stupid. They know what's going on. So, and I now know, that I'm, you know, going to be 45. I now know what was going on. You know, how come well, yeah, my mom, had some drug issues going on. And so what happened was the cop was rummaging through, going through, doing a search, doing search of car, doing search of her purse. Bottles and bottles of pills, bottle and bottle of pill. Who's this? Who's this? Who's this? She'd make up all kind. Oh, they just gave them to me. Cops ain't stupid. So, unbeknownst to everybody, about maybe 5, 6 more sheriff's cars come down the road, and yeah, she had a good joke one night. So, of course, I stayed with my aunt and uncle. I wasn't about to go home with her, my dad. Of course, my brother, he didn't understand nothing, so he just, my dad, of course, you can't argue with a drug, you're drunk, so my dad went and picked her mom up from the house and arguing back and forth. Oh, I'll drive myself home, and yeah, she tried, she couldn't do it. My dad followed her all the way. She was all over the place, and yeah, it was crazy. And so I stayed with my aunt and uncle, and spent the night and all that. So then, got to be about, let's see, I got to be about 18. So then, got my first real job at the base at as a switchboard operator because that's what I want. I've always wanted to do something with phones, computers, or anything like that. Well, maybe that's where it allowed me. Maybe that's where it landed me today, right? To be self-employed. I'll get into that too in the story time. So when I was about 18, I got my first real job at the base, and everybody's all happy for me except my mom. Well, I worked there for about a few months, and that's a good thing. Praise the Lord, because in 2003, Davis Mountain moved. Their switchboard moved to California. Well, I wasn't about to uproot and I wasn't about to uproot and transition or anything like that, or locate or relocate. No. So I'm working there one day, doing my business, doing my what I was supposed to be doing. Supervisor come up. Oh, your mom talked to me. Oh, I was good and mad. I was spitting nails. I said, "What do you mean my mom talked to you?" She called me. I said, "Oh." And what did she say? Now, mind you, mind you guys, when a parent gets involved in a kid's life, I don't care how old you are, unless you're underage, yeah, that's not good. That ain't gonna look good for your job anyway. So, so she couldn't divulge any information to me, which was kind of ridiculous when it had to be me, when it was about me. So she said, "We're going to have to let you go." And I said, "Well, why?" She gave some stupid laming. "Oh, because of the spelling. You weren't spelling the countries or this shit." Well, that wasn't the real deal. So what I later found out was that my mom got into my business because she was worried about my Social Security check. She didn't want that check to leave her little hot little hands, right? Well, it did. And I'll get into that too as well. Probably maybe next week, next Wednesday. Um, so, oh, I was mad because I was clearing like $300 every 2 weeks. $300. I had everything. I had to. Man, I was doing good. The little switchboard box that talked to you. I used Jaws. I used everything. I was good at what I do. So then, so then, that day I finally got a lunch break. Called my aunt. And this is the deal with my mom. My mom, she was so over, I don't know what you call it, reactive. I know she was controlling, real controlling. But I love my mom. I'm telling you guys that the whole, I shoot straight from the hip. I don't rose colored. I don't candy coat. I don't sugarcoat. I tell you the real deal, Holyfield like it is. So let's see. My mom, not only was she over controlling, but she was overreacting. She thought just because you lived in the same house, you had to call her every day. You couldn't call nobody else. You couldn't call your aunt. You couldn't call your dad. And my dad trucked. He was a truck driver. He trucked for many years. He trucked over the road. So I didn't see him very much at home. So, oh, she flipped nails when she found out. And she always had this thing of looking at my phone bill, looking at seeing who I was calling. She got mad when, "Oh, you always call your aunt and your dad more than you do me." I live with you in the same house, mother. So it wouldn't make no sense for me to call you every day when I don't see others, right, guys? So one day I I took a lunch break, called my aunt, and I called mom. And I remember the words I said to her: "Hey, I'm gonna go on the road with my dad." I didn't tell her what happened. I didn't tell her nothing. She said, "We'll see." That was her famous words. "We'll see." And so I called my aunt, called my dad, let them know what was going on. Oh, my dad was spitting nails. He was mad. He said, she got you let go." I said, "Yeah, getting into my business." And so, so about that time, let's see. Yeah, I went on the first couple trips, but and I didn't mind it, but I knew there had to be some way out. I knew that I wasn't gonna be living there the rest of my life, 24/7. The whole deal with my mom, and just because I was blind, she wanted to make it seem more than that. She even had the gall and the audacity and the nerve to sign a incompetency paper over me. Oh, really? Well, I got that taken care of, and that will be going in next week's story time. Story time. Um, so So yeah, so I went on a couple truck trips with my dad. That was no biggie. I didn't mind it, but I knew it got me out of that stupid four walls. I'm telling you that. But I knew there was. I was sitting in that truck one day, and I was thinking, man, can't bring my phone, can't do nothing. I had to, I had to. I'm 18. I had to live in this stupid. I had to live in this stupid situation of somebody being overreacting, over controlling, not letting me have a life when they're 18. And everybody, when they're 18, they have to start having their own lives. She was unbearable. She was weird. She was strange, really, in the sense, and that was because of the drugs. But so so yeah. When so I was sitting in that truck one day, and I told Dad, I said, man, I said, my dad didn't care what I did. As long as I was upright and upstanding, doing the right thing, I never got involved in gang, drug, nothing like that. Praise the Lord or anything. Even though it's because I had my, I seen my, I heard my fair share. I haven't had, but I heard my fair share of drug issues with my family and stuff. So, because my family were involved in drugs, didn't mean I had to be. So, I told my dad one day, I said, man, I said, don't be surprised if I move out and go to Bobby's. Dad and my aunt. Everybody has a nickname, Granny, Grandma, Meemaw, whatever. So I just called my aunt Bobby. So I said, don't be surprised if I go to my aunt's house. And Dad knew what I was doing. He knew I was going up. He knew I wanted, he knew I wasn't gonna be around this house 24/7 like everybody, like my mom wanted. So yeah, after the last truck trip, and I wasn't mad or nothing. But she flipped the lid when I said, yeah, I'm going to my aunt's for a couple of days. I didn't think I was gonna be moving in. So yeah, it was about when I was 20. I took my last truck trip when I was about 19. Yeah, and we'll get into that story time. We're gonna do story time's coming back Wednesdays. So before we finish this story time, I want to say be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Help me grow hit all the buttons and help me grow this channel. I have 224 subscribers. We're going to be working our way up to 230, and hopefully getting our way up to 1,000 subscribers where I could do lives on the phone. This would be fun. So anyway, so after my last truck trip back in when I was 19, I finally just got the gumption and the courage to stand up. I wasn't disrespectful, but I stood up for my rights. Everybody want me to have no rights? Well, I stood up for my rights. And so I went to my aunt's house. I remember that very well. I remember that June 2nd of 1999. Yeah, June 2nd, 1999. I had just turned 20 years old. 20 years old. So, just turned 20 years old. 20, you're an adult. You're of age. You're 18, that means 18, 19, 20. Oh no. Mary still wanted me to keep me younger than that because of her narcissistic ways and her this and that. It was all about her. So anyway, I remember that June 2nd, 1999. My grandpa, which is my dad's stepdad, took me over to the house and dropped me off and this and that. I didn't have no guitar. No, I had my phone and my pager and stuff with me. I remember back in the day you had pagers. I don't know if everybody remembers that. But so I had that. I had everything, and Bobby was happy. My aunt was happy to see me and all that, and yeah, everybody's all happy to see me. And Ed was talking about getting my ID. Oh, that's another thing. Mary didn't want me getting my ID. So what happened was, she had my uncle Tom, go down and with fake. Now, guys, DMV, you can't give fake copies of birth certificates. Get in huge trouble for that. So what'd she do? I couldn't get my ID because Tom come back and told her they were fake. Oh, she had a fit. What do you mean they're fake? She was giving fake copies. She was giving copies of birth certificates. They want original. So, couldn't get my ID from there. So, what happened was as soon as I got to my aunt's, um, they wrote in, got my birth certificate, because you had to write in and send it to Phoenix and all that stuff. So they wrote in, got my birth certificate to get my ID. Oh, Mary had a fit. My mom had a fit about that. She didn't want me having an ID either. So, um, so I've been there, you know, what, nothing about 4 days later, my mom calls. She just up and up says, "You're coming home at 9 o'clock." I said, "I'm coming home at 9 o'clock. I was going to be here a few more days." I had planned on going back there, back home, but, you know, it is what it is. I had planned on going back home. It wasn't like I was going to run away, be a wild child, or anything like that. I would never like that. So, anyway, um, so back, we went back round around. I said, "I'll be home when I'm ready to come home." That was it. I'll be home when I'm ready to come home. Sugar, nope. I'll try to drop you up 9 o'clock. I said, "No, you're not going to." And I finally, this is where crap hit the fan. So I finally stood up. My aunt and uncle were sitting at the table that day, and I remember. And I'm glad this video is not made for kids because I heard what my aunt said. As soon as I said, "Mom, I love you, but you're not going to tell me what to do anymore," and I hung up, she looked at my uncle. She looked at my uncle and said, "Oh shit." They looked at each other, her mouth dropped open, and I was so mad. I said, "She's not going to tell me what to do." So I hung up. So she called about a week later and told my aunt, I want a fourth of everything. I want a fourth of the bills, a fourth of the rent, this and that." And she was so here's how my mom was. She was cool unless she got either drinking or she popping pills. And so my mom, you know, she was cool. I'm not gonna lie. Nobody abused me or nothing. Like I said, I never came from a neglected, broken. I wasn't. Yeah, I never came from a broken home or a dysfunctional family. I mean, yeah, I guess everybody's dysfunctional in their own way, but I never came from a dysfunctional family. I mean, where people were throwing stuff, throwing things, whatever, violent, beating, none of that stuff. You know, but just, when you have an addictive personality like my mom, which she had a very addictive personality, you do get into stuff. And yeah, she wasn't popping, she was drinking. And when she was drinking, she got real grouchy. And when she was popping, you could sure tell it. She would always fall asleep. She would smoke, fall asleep. She was weird. So anyway, one day she's telling my aunt, "I want a fourth of everything. I want a fourth of your bills. I want this and that to show Social Security." And my aunt loved her sister, but she didn't take no crap. And she just stood up and told her, "Mary, you ain't getting none of my bills. You ain't getting nothing. You ain't getting none of the rent. You ain't getting nothing." So, and those two, it was weird. I never really got those two. They got along, but when it came to me, it was like they clashed. And when I say they clashed, they bumped heads really bad. And it was because my mom's jealousy. My mom had a jealousy, and I don't know why, and I still don't know why. I still can't figure out to this day. I know she's gone to be with the Lord, but I still can't figure out why this day, you know, those two, I couldn't figure it out. Just jealousy. Major, major jealousy between with my mom. So, so anyway, that was a while back. So, man, so that July, I started my own Avon business. Okay, don't when you got somebody that has an addictive personality, you don't really want to tell them what goes on in your life because then they think they could take control, they think they could do this, they think they get involved. And I didn't let her know. I didn't let her know for about a year that I was doing Avon. So I got my Avon business back in July of '99. About a month later, you know, got some money and I bought my first acoustic guitar. And then maybe a while after that, I saved up money and bought myself a used electric guitar for like 260 or something like that. It was a pretty good deal. We found it on, I forgot where we found it. Found it in a newspaper or something. It was all good, because I was still playing guitar. I didn't have no guitar. I had the one guitar my mom gave me. I had electric, and I had two guitars in, so that was pretty much about it. Couldn't get nothing. The kicker was I had some equipment that was used for the bass. I had some equipment that Voc Rehab gave to me. Mind you, Mary didn't purchase it for me. Oh, really? Who's going to spend $7,000 or $8,000 on equipment? So I told her one day, hey, I need my brow light. And she said, well, you can buy the house first and spend the night. I said, no, you give my brow light. That equipment's mine. It belongs to it was from Voc Rehab. You didn't pay for it. So she went on. I know you come here first, and you can get your stuff. So that day, I called my Voc Rehab counselor. At that time was Frank Johnson. He was pretty good, so I called my Voc Rehab counselor and told him all about the issue, what was going on. She wouldn't let me have my braille light, and boy, about maybe 2, 3, 4 days later, she come by with that thing, come by with everything, and that was because he called her. I guarantee it was because he called her. She was holding my VR stuff hostage, and so I started and I didn't let her know I was doing Avon for about a whole year, and then she wanted to order from me, and then she wanted to start ordering from me, because of course I was her son and this and that and everything. Boy, she was some big orders too. She spent like $700, $800 on Avon, $900 or $900 order one time, a $700. She did good. Which, like I said, she was cool when she wasn't messed up. So anyway, so I'm doing my Avon business, and one day, and this is kind of, I can't fathom this either. When you get when you get somebody something for a holiday or a birthday or Christmas, and it's something that from your company, and they flip over it because, oh, it wasn't what it wasn't something they didn't. I don't know. She was weird about that. So one day I got her. I forgot what I got her. I got her some Christmas stuff, or I don't know, birthday. I got her something from Avon for Christmas, birthday, whatever. I told her. I said, "Hey, I got you some stuff for Christmas," and she got real mad, and I could tell she was probably drinking because she said, "Oh, it better not be Avon." I said, "What? What does that have to do whether it's Avon or not? It could have been Amazon. It could have been Walmart. What does that have to do with it? Better not be Avon." And I'm like, okay, you're ungrateful. So finally, she took it, and about, I don't know, after Christmas or whatever, on Christmas, she called me and was thanking me for it. And it was weird. She was like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, but that's what drugs and alcohol do. Drugs and alcohol, they mess with your mind. They, 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 they give you it gives you a different personality than what your real identity is. And that's why I say this, guys. Don't get involved in drugs and alcohol because, man, it will it will give you the wrong identity. It will give you a personality. And I mean, she was the difference between day and night. I mean, like I said, when she was regular and normal, she was cool. She was awesome. We talked together. We were able to have a civil conversation instead of being jealous. And boy, once she started popping and drinking, boy, man, day and night, I'm telling you, we went from having a civil, cool conversation. And when she was cool, she asked about Anissa one time, and I said, Anissa's doing good. Anissa's doing good. We're all doing good and everything. I think one time we went to the house one time, and Anissa was there, and yeah, she met Anissa, but I think we got her when she was messed up. Because we had one time went to the house. Bob was going to give tortillas to her. We bought tortillas, and of course we bought some for us, but we bought some for her and Al, of course. And there was time we always sit in the truck, and we always talked together, and we always carried on the conversation and all that. And she just, She was cool, but boy, when she got messed up, well, I remember one time I went over there for Christmas just to, you know, give Al his gifts and my brother his gifts and everything. And ooh, I never seen her so messed up. I said, and guys, let me tell you something. You can't hide alcohol. Come on, unless you're drinking vodka, you cannot hide the smell of alcohol. Yeah, she was drink. She was drinking. She'd been drinking that day, and I went over there, and we all went over. Me and my uncle went over there to give my brother his gifts, and wow. Let me tell you something. My brother was autistic, but he wasn't stupid. He no wonder why he got so stressed out with her being weird with drugs and drinking, and well, you know, that was. I mean, that was the deal poor Al had to live with all those years when I moved out, Dad moved out, and I'll get into that next story time. But guys, I mean, you got to face the real deal that you know. I think these are gonna be like story time parts. I'll figure it out, but I mean, because I've been so long without story time, it's been ridiculous. But it's finally coming back today, and so went over there one day, and I'll be darned if she wasn't even messed up. She was so messed up. My brother was sitting next to me. He was getting all irritated. What's wrong? I said, "What's wrong, bud?" And she put her messed up too. It's because you left and your dad left. I said, it ain't nothing to do with me. I said, he's stressed out because of you. She said, me, what did I do? I said, look at you. I said, look. I said, you can't hide the smell of alcohol unless you're drinking vodka. Oh, she flipped. Oh, your aunt and uncle told you that stuff. They told you I'm a drunk. I said, hey, let me tell you something. I've learned about you since I was 12 years old. I know you've been drinking. You've been drinking all these years. And I would always see her at 12 years old go in the closet for a little nip. And that's what she'd do a little nip. I'm not stupid. Everybody that didn't want to keep their head in the closet, everybody knew it. Everybody knew it. Even me at 12 years old, I was a little bit privy to know more than what I know now. That it was a full-on addiction problem, but it was an addiction problem. When she wasn't pilling, she was drinking. And and I love my mom, but the truth, I don't. Hey, I'm like I said, I'm the real deal, Holyfield, and I put straight out. I know everybody's probably going to be making comments. Why you say that about your mom? Hey, my mom was cool. I'm telling you guys that my mom was cool when she was normal. But boy, once the pills and the alcohol, she got into that. Oh man, difference of day and night. Like I said, she was like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. It was like her identity change. It wasn't like the same cool mom of I can remember every day she would make like a shake, like some kind of shake, like a vitamin shake that she would see from one of her friends at work or something. She'd make it in a blender or something with chocolate. And just like she was cool. She didn't mind. She would let me go over and spend nights and the weekends. And I remember one time when I was little, I was over there for the whole summer. For summers on end. I remember I was at my aunt's for summers on end. I know now because it was because she was really wanting to get messed up, and I know now that it was during the Coke days. Yeah, the Coke days will be coming up too in this story time because I remember that going on when I was 6 years old. So yeah, so praise the Lord, I haven't had any. I haven't used or anything. I mean, now that I'm of age, I'm an adult. I've had a few beers in my day, but I haven't. I praise the Lord. The Lord protected me from all the drug stuff that went on in my family and everything. And so, guys, I hope you enjoyed the story time. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share my channel. That'd be great. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. And we will see you tomorrow. Is Survive the Wild after I get off my appointment setting. So here's my regimen. Here's my regimen. We're gonna do We're gonna get back into ham radio Mondays. I think next Monday we're gonna be I'll put some videos up from CQ Blind Hams. I'll be doing a first video on CQ Blind Hams for Ham Radio Monday. Wednesday story time. Thursday survive the wild. Fridays are going to be Eurofly Friday. This Friday we're going to complete tasks 19 through 21 again. We're not blowing up the plane on landing. Saturday is going to be either Tube Sim or Clash of War. Now I did a video with Clash of War. I might have to redo it because I have to turn down the music in the city because of copyright reasons, but it's okay. We all got it. And then Sundays, work from home's coming back, guys. Work from home is coming back. And you guys be excited to know what I'm doing with appointment setting, and I'll talk about another thing I'm going to get into on Sunday. So, guys, take care. I will see you when I see you tomorrow. Take care, guys. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share.